Hello, Heather Moore, Dementia Outreach Specialist for the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin. I am here today on Monday, June 15th. It is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and I'm going to share with you different types of abuse, the signs to look for, how we can prevent elder abuse, but also who we can contact. So we're going to start off today with the different types of abuse. That would be physical, emotional or psychological, financial, neglect, and self-neglect. The first type of abuse that I'm going to talk about is physical abuse. That is any action that can cause bodily harm to our loved one. Examples of that would be hitting, kicking, shoving, burning, biting, over-medicating, or under-medicating. These are usually visible injuries, and this is something that you need to be aware of in case there is some type of physical abuse being done to your loved one or someone that you know that is an elder in your environment. The second type of abuse is emotional or psychological. That is any action that can hurt a person emotionally. It can happen when someone is yelling at our loved ones, they're threatening them, they're calling them names, they may put them down a lot. They also may be controlling who they can see, where they can go, and what they can do. And they can also be ignoring them. Different signs to look for with that would be if they act very withdrawn or they become very frightened. They may have changes in their behaviors. They may seem more depressed. They have a loss of interest in what's going on. They also might have trouble sleeping or increase in their confusion. These are different signs to look for, and this could actually be because of emotional or psychological abuse being done to the elder. The third type is financial. This is when an elder person's money or property is being threatened. This is possibly when someone is using an elder's credit card or bank accounts without their permission. They may be asking them to sign things. So if they're not signing it, they may actually be forging their signatures. They may be forcing them to make changes on legal documents, such as a power of attorney or a living will or a trust. Someone may be causing financial abuse by charging our elders too much for basic home repairs or medical expenses. And we also see financial abuse when it comes to these scam phone calls, emails, mailings to our elderly population, asking for money for usually fake charities. So that is another type of financial abuse. Things that we want to watch for is when there's unexplained withdrawals in bank accounts, if bills are being unpaid, if the legal documents are now missing or everything has been changed on those legal documents, you want to question why that was done. Sometimes we will have our elders that say that they have a new friend. So someone that you're not aware of or you don't even know anything about, a total stranger, is now all of a sudden very interested in taking care of or being around your elder loved one. Those are different things that you need to be aware of, and that there could be a financial abuse situation going on. Now with neglect. Neglect happens when caregivers do not tend to the older person's needs, such as not giving enough food, water, clothing, shelter. Maybe they're not giving them their medications. They're not helping them bathe or get dressed, not helping them with their bills. That is a type of neglect. If they abandon them and leave them by themselves and they're supposed to be there providing cares, abandonment is also abuse. Different signs that you need to look for if they're not getting the care that they need that could be signs of neglect would be if the individual is messy or unclean. They have dirty clothes, their hair, their skin, their nails is unkept. Sudden weight loss, changes in their appetite, they start developing bed sores. Or if they have missing or broken assistive devices such as a walker, a cane, hearing aids, and glasses, these can be types of neglect because their needs are not being met by their caregiver. Now, the last type of abuse that I'm going to talk to you about is self-neglect. This is defined as a lack of self-care to an extent that it threatens their health and safety. This is when a person is no longer providing the proper personal hygiene care that they need, to have good health. They're not taking care of their living environment. They have the inability to avoid self-harm, and they fail to seek or access healthcare or social needs. Different signs that you want to look for is very poor personal hygiene, an unkept appearance, lack of essentials such as food, clothing, their house, their shelter that they need. Also, malnutrition or dehydration. You may notice this if they start experiencing a lot of trips to the doctor or the emergency room and they're getting that diagnosis of dehydration. It can be because it's self neglect. They're not taking care of themselves properly. Their living conditions are just unsanitary. They may experience some hoarding issues. They're non-compliant with healthcare needs, and they may have the inability or unwillingness to take care of themselves when it comes to an illness or an injury. Those are the different types of abuse. Now, ways that we can actually help prevent abuse is we can learn the signs of abuse and how to solve the issues. So all the different types of abuse that I talked about, know what those signs are, and we need to know what they are in order to move forward and help our elder ones. We can prevent isolation by calling or visiting our older loved ones. There's a lot of groups right now during this quarantine that have actually developed visiting neighbors or neighbors care, and they're going out to the elderly that are in their communities and assisting them, asking them if they need help, ask them how they're doing. So we want to prevent that isolation. So visiting with them and just talking with them to see how they're doing is extremely important. Talking to family and friends about programs and services for our elders in our areas. There's multiple programs, community services. There's a lot of locations, people that we can contact to know of what's available for services for our elders in their community. And that can include law enforcement, the Department of Social Services, your ADRC, which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADAW, which is us, the Alzheimer's and Dementia Alliance of Wisconsin. Along with the Department of Social Services, you can actually contact Adult Protective Services. They are very familiar with community services that are going on in your area. Community centers, public transportation, and other adult and county services. There is so much out there for us to help prevent elder abuse and to keep our loved ones taken care of and engaged in activities. So now I want to leave you with what you can do if you suspect that there is some type of abuse going on with your loved one or another elder in your community. So it is a phone call. And if you're not able to call by phone, there is an email that you have for the state of Wisconsin. So it's one phone call to your county elder abuse hotline. You can contact the Department of Social Services or your Adult Protective Services representative in your county. Just know that elder abuse is not something that has to happen to someone over the age of 60. It can actually happen at any time. Now I'm going to read you a little insert from this booklet titled Elder Abuse, and it can happen to anyone. So this is what I'm going to leave you with today. Everyone deserves a safe environment. Abuse doesn't belong in a caring relationship, and one person can't fix this complicated problem alone. But one phone call can reach a network of caring professionals who are ready to help. No matter how long a person has been abused, it's not too late to stop the hurt and harm. Remember, elder abuse can happen to anyone, but you can take a stand against it. There is a website that has a full list of all the county elder abuse helplines. We will actually include that with this video. So it is the state of Wisconsin. And it says also in this booklet that if you aren't able to call your county elder abuse helpline, that there is an email. So we will make sure that we add that to this video. I want to thank you. If you know of an elder person or if your loved one is elderly, take some time today, check in on them, see how things are going, make sure everything's okay. But I'm leaving you today. Today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. I hope we gave you a little bit of information to have a better understanding on the different types of abuse, the signs to look for, how we prevent it, but also that there are resources out there that can help you if someone you know is being abused. Take care and have a good day.